ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि वितुनोति सुहृत्सुतं नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 16, text number 1. Maitreya Uvacha इति ब्रुवाणं नृप्रातिं गायका मुनिचोदिता तुष्टुष्टमानसस्तद्वाग् अमृतसेवया. Synonyms: Maitreya Uvacha, the great sage Maitreya said, iti, thus, Bruvanam speaking, Nupratim, the king, Gayaka, the reciters, Muni, by the sages, Chodita, having been instructed, Tustu, praised, satisfied, Tusta, being pleased, Manasa, their minds, Tat, his work, words, Amruta, nectarian, Sevaya, by hearing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The great sage Maitreya continued while King Prithudha spoke. The humility of his nectarian speeches pleased the reciters very much. Then again they continued to praise the king highly with exalted prayers, as they had been instructed by the great sages. Purport. Here the word Muni Chodita indicates instructions received from great sages and saintly persons. Although Maharaja Prithu was simply enthroned on the royal seat and was not at that time exhibiting his godly powers, the reciters like the Sutta, the Magadha, and Vandi understood that the King Prithu was an incarnation of God. They could understand this by the instructions given by the great sages and learned Brahmanas. We have to understand the incarnations of God by the instructions of authorized persons. We cannot manufacture a God by our own concoctions. As stated by Narottama Dasa Thakura, Sadhu Shastra Guru, one has to test all spiritual matters according to the instructions of saintly persons, scriptures, and the spiritual master. The spiritual master is one who follows the instructions of his predecessors, namely the sadhus or saintly persons. A bona fide spiritual master does not mention anything not mentioned in the authorized scriptures. Ordinary people have to follow the instructions of sadhu, shastra, and guru. Those statements made in the shastras and those made by the bona fide sadhu or guru cannot differ from one another. Reciters like the Sutta and Magadha were confidentially aware that King Prithu was an incarnation of the personality of Godhead. Although the king denied such praise because he was not at that time exhibiting his godly qualities, the reciters did not stop praising him. Rather, they were very pleased with the king, who, although actually an incarnation of God, was so humble and delightful in his dealings with the devotees. In this connection, we may note that previously, 4:15:21, it was mentioned that King Prithu was smiling and was in a pleasant mood while speaking to the reciters. Thus, we have to learn from the Lord or His incarnation how to become gentle and humble. The king's behavior was very pleasing to the reciters, and consequently, the reciters continued their praise and even foretold the king's future activities as they had been instructed by the sadhus and sages. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जलाचलाकया चक्षुरुन्मितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तान्तिकम्। ओम नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रोमपदस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas so that I can speak. It's a worthwhile. Thanks again for the opportunity to purify myself, and please forgive me for any interpretations or shortcomings. I'm summarizing these words from the lecture which is given by Guru Maharaj Rompad Swami Maharaj in April 2022 from a class called from Houston. So this chapter talks about praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. In the previous chapter, we have seen that King Prithu incarnated uh, from the body of the Veena, and different demigods they came to the coronation ceremony, and they have gifted all the gifts according to their uh, respective ability, and different reciters are praising, reciting prayers, praising King Prithu. So in this chapter, we are going to talk in detail how those reciters praise King Prithu, and those are very professional reciters. Here in the purport, it said that reciters like the Sutta, Magadha, and Vandi. So here the Sutta, Magadha, and Vandi are the three categories of the reciters. They will praise Supreme Personality of Godhead uh, according like a very professional, very systematic. For example, Sutta, a group, they will go to the chamber of the king's palace or maybe king's chamber in general, and they will praise their prayers so that the king will wake up in the morning. So this is one category. Similarly, Magala and Vande. So these are very professional reciters. They are reciting, welcoming King Prithu to in the enthrone of the program, that ceremony. But King Prithu was so much in opposition to hearing his own glories, and at the same time, his followers nonetheless want to glorify him. And this is a like a paradoxical aspect of giving and receiving respect, praises, and glories. Basically, the more you are focused on glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will get the more purification instead of attracting and respecting our own selves as a like a selfish. So when we'll glorify someone, we will get a lot of purification. That is what these reciters are setting an example for us. And also, in general, of course, those glorifies basically those glorifications comes from other devotees or other living entities. But beyond that, it is a sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next, Prithu Maharaj offered his request to professional reciters not to glorify him because he was so humble, and is the see we can see his humility, that because he is accepting that I did not take the position of the king yet, but you people are started reciting. But we know that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of the reciters are reciting and prayers, they are praising. But in as a human being, we need to take the lesson from here that the humility and humble. Sometimes, even though we don't have the position, we will take the advantage of the position in our day-to-day life or in our corporate life. But a leader is such a person. He always humble and he won't take that advantage from the people. But that is a great character and thing we need to learn from the Maharaj Prithu. And these Prithu Maharaj's nectarian words gave pleasure to those who had them, and despite his request, the reciters are praising. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that this is the inspiration to the devotees and the current public. No one is setting an example, but this is what we can take the inspiration from here. And next thing, when we are very sincere and when we are practicing, this tendency of the praising will come, the intelligence to praise, that Krishna give the intelligence to praise. When we are very sincere in our practices at whatever the stage, whatever the place you are, circumstance, etc. And next thing, in the purport it states that we need to be very careful to on sadhu, shastra and guru. So one has to test all spiritual matters according to the instructions of saintly persons, scriptures and spiritual master. So in the market right now, there are a lot of bogus gurus. They will claim that he's a guru, but there is no parampara, there is no scripture injunction. So we have to very, very careful in there what they are teaching. It's completely Mayavati philosophy. They will claim that they are the God, but technically no one become the God. There is only one God. It's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the fundamental we need to know, and we need to understand that one. So if the person is not speaking according to the scriptural injunctions, we can reject that person. It's no matter whoever it is, whatever they will follow or whatever sampradaya, etc. So that is what we need to careful. In the purport, Prabhupada very emphasized that one. Like always, sadhu, shastra, guru is very, very important. Next, when coming to the praising, sometimes Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they did not advocately glorify the Lord. But in the seventh canto also, Palad Maharaj specified Nursing Dev, and also he gave the instruction that everyone should glorify the Lord according to the one's own ability. So there is also one of the thing that we need to learn from there. Also, we can take the inspiration that this glorification is very, very important for the one's own purification. So, for example, when you are in a neophyte state, or maybe like we are unable to practice this activity, so when you develop the like a gratitude general, when we write or when we practice gratitude general in a daily practice, definitely this will become one of the habit, and this will help us to with the purification in an exponential manner. So in that way, these reciters are very expert and very professional, and they know the king's behavior. That's the reason they are doing prior when king take this position. So the king's behavior was very pleasing to the reciters, and consequently the reciters continued their praise and even foretold the king's future activities, as they had been instructed by the sadhus and sages. So and they are doing that. They are instructed by the sadhus and sages. Although they did not get that instruction, but they are doing in a professional manner, because they have carried the love of Godhead in their hearts. That's the reason they are able to do it. So when we carry that love of Godhead in our heart, when sincerely, so we will get that ability to praise Supreme Personality of Godhead and pure devotees, senior devotees. So that helps for the part of purification. So here the whole scenario, the whole theme is that the recitation and the praising is such an important activity for the one's own purification, not for the selfish or for some other purpose, some other motive in the background. So this is a summary I have taken, and I will stop it here. Thank you again for opportunity for my own purification, and please forgive me for my shortcomings. Vancha kalpatarulbhasya cha kripa sindhibhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the nice summary. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Excellent summary.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.